And when you maltreat people in their youthful age, they become aggressive, very belligerent. And he said, "Obiti se Canada, Japan. Yeah, go back to his childhood and look at his history. Or no, I can want some that. And I to about that. And we are not. Yes, this is somebody who feel from the taxpayer.
Can you OSP win or what? Fenyo no ECG chrono ketas shepoya sa OSP we maka also and on one be resign then you fefe.
I am at Kpebu say unse on OSP wo issues. And I bought the charges say what je bribe. I said that for no I told be the way you boom no said you dom no. Mama ho kwai microphone fa mo nyanya ma bi. And akrono na akokọ so wo mabamu ne ye kan na mumua. Awomaso nipa obi ho minister bi ho kasa da num kasa tantan waka.
This is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
Azamabo Martin Kpebu na nwachini OSP a lokeno o lokeno kra eh etoka be na wo mutem ena ya Yaa Titi ka say one no wo issue be no menwe the OSP in the in the kwa no obeko ai lawyer from Pon anoche so akasa da fa ho na wote your friend is saying Ivan Kyei Ediam. And I was saying, Solomon Usudian. A job maton. After your marking, MPP. When you know ye, na mean there for your Ivan. I dare why ye no. Rough. Easy boss. On so, yes, so tune with Hobako. Oh, OS because they say on resigning. Na bibi anye din. Odi jana no wadi e bia na hye me nti
na ye nyina ye ni masema ewo Martin Kpebu ene OSP entem efa Kano Foriata a wotimi efa kwati kwan so ema OSP hwe ni se ya na special prosecutor ankasa be ka kire se na ni tua se Kano Foriata e na no wo koi na so no de no wantimi stop no because wonya adwuma wa airport. Aye, obi ana Kissi Adjabeng ankasa gitumu say or under investigations no was when to me a stop any kwan work on because when you adwuma munsini kwan ya okaka ho o so boa ne amso meboa o choka ta de kwamo o asa amre no wo mo ano mo ho na no metimi ama kai Kanofori ata atwam anasa nko me block no wo ma block no mu ja ne enya ne form so onya boni bia Kanofori ata mi fan koma attorney general yente ye ho asese investigations ne justice dey na che Tanyam nam kai. Or no one kai. Was it justice? And I say investigations. Mami use the word that we use here. Investigations, you know. And yeah, you be as a keke. Yeah, check. It takes time. And you know, one of my yan breme de me who crack out because I'm not me yan chompiata wom. And ye nia brena kofa Kanofori ata bro. Or be as a press conference na ye who say papa no. Enye ye. Oh, enye yo. Kissi Adjabeng, want to mean you who 10 from Magana. Oh, it's not make catch up president. Mama say that office a crown is useless. Scrap it. Scrapping office in if you ho. Niya mu say ya ni mu da ho. Nipa no de is a baby ni ba ye na mu krampo no. Want me ama baby ni no fam na anyini. Eno de akwate na fie. Na ye ne be hwe baby anya ye ne wo no. Baby a wa hwe na wo mu kra problems wo. And I'm a baby, you're that way. Or when I saw, now so says something. Or when it's yet, it is over me. Or when I say, you know, as a Davison. Or when a pantine. As a yama baby, now baby, beside yet a tunnel. Well, ben, you know, Baba Danica Motobia Baba Toso now and someone you'll be the achron. One Casaba was so damn. Enra OSP enya ho a detaining lawyer Martin Kpebu. Adanya metie Martin Kpebu ankasa ni interview grante ya e wo TV3. Now what here in some na Martin Kpebu kai na then I begin to ask myself say, "Oh, Kissi Adjabeng. Bibi ya pepe de. Masa. Wo man that no say wo so a. Please, man disturb ya so. Because one more crowd office now walk occupy no, ya pesi ya yifru or yen Ghana for near dear tax brew. Any as office and yam pet. Lawyer Kissi Adjabeng, and yan the personal money no the running office no. And ya meme tax na bituano. And ya Ghana in the tax no tiano. It is a yarana sa won swaba pabia and fam my ya. Near say yam meme kasi yam pamo. Oh, Kissi Adjabeng akasa me no ni problem. Office na kasa na si wo office of the special prosecutor sa office na kasa and ya say yam pet. Yeah, see, I'm pet office no and what bread be my and now what's here parliament proceedings. Who baby? And I know more debate Sika, they call OSP office. And a minority and ya bresa ya cutting by 50% into no. And beha OSP a Juma I was warrior. Now tamani I do 400% in the command no not then why am I? Sika ben pan. Na masa ya chase ya value for money o sika na man no ya pe no e was ya money na me 50% cut no cry office na mu cry si mu nyimfiri wa 50% cut and na money abre hu na mu debate hu parliament and na no abere say the minority for ya ni abre ai and na say the omo akate budget no so no e be ma office no na ho akere no office na no
office na the papa ben
OSP office hodom a
amanfo awia yesika kodi amanfo nchen je manya wuntume je wo sori ana yetwa budget 140 million 150 million na the amount office na mfaso bi anim ya me na we agency office na beguna ya
say anya se beguna ehunu yanguno na so ni faso OSP office no me nya Kissi Adjabeng na me no problem o office na mu na si ho no na me na office wo problem say so aba bia amfa ma yen Ghana fo ye wasi yen sika ya di case ba na ye di akokoto pa office no betimi adi ho adanse say efiti bra na do danko akufado establish sa office no e ma amode mate na mi du kosi ho a wo dwane free ho no say ho hye why ya ama onim say adwempo na etechiro mo de matina mi dukosi ho no matina mi dukodru wa ohun say ewo say ade no wo mo de me ba no kro mo chen wo mo na madwe ya mo so mo ya kronfo
haka nani just
wo mo de me ba ya no say wo mo kro no echen kure nyam na meka o ya describe obi so ya mother serpents of corruption just o de krono na ewo ho nyina ya boaboa no ane maame ne ho
enti krono na do krono
ne sa no komoa
pewura ni
awura ni de
embodiment
of corruption
ewo ni moje mu ni ntini mu ni hunsuo mu ni ewo
edwane epie ye no na Kissi Adjabeng said there was an agreement. There was a particular agency or lawyer Kissi Adjabeng by. What you say? Me, only the how we are. Mrs. OSP. The full meaning, office of the special prosecutor. Office na kasano. Mrs. Ghana for ya bre.
Ya na say me. Ya me no tie obi eni ho a wakọ law school. But say adwuma we di akam no ye betimi ya.
Na
say yan kwatra na yan press, yan fra incentral for. Na yan sun na yan monyom. Asa ke betimi ya.
Akwa no ma me de me krabo afore. Oh. Na no kwa na me ka kire betimi ya.
Me ye ni ametum bia me mbreso ana ni abetumi di.
Betimi ya no so ya ni.
Ni abetumi aye di enfeni.
So ni bra.
Enko ye.
Na wanya ho awurade enra me say metie lawyer Martin Kpebu me say mo hwa say ne video na ya ready a moma yentie ne sam a reasons why ya OSP you know na metie reasons na akodura ka kire utumi say ababa ko say nim
David there was no hypostasis, there was no substance
ni asama e course ni mu
bibia
Martin Kpebu lawyer Martin Kpebu kire say on say on OSP wo issues and I want the charges say what bribe in connection with Kenoforiata issue na da kwa Ghana for ye nyina ya so ya no aguso no and a lawyer Martin Kpebu so wonim say e bia na wonim amenkai o petitions na akọ for the removal of Kissi Adjabeng no lawyer Martin Kpebu na mu wa tworo bia ne charges egumaburu 15 a petition ya refer the chief justice no wada ho Ena lawyer Kissi Adjabeng si won ti ase say Martin Kpebu abo ne charge say wo ye corrupt enti anaso wo je bribe to wo meyi ne ho ano okwan no say ah ye wo yo okwan no say ah na me okay chire wo sire asewo I had to say ene na pianti ti adwuma mu hai na pianti eyo overall boss na mabona na pianti charge na ya ka ne se me kwaya ya se na pianti akwakoyi awele no sha na pianti ase no ono o makoyi ne se o ma investigate na pianti na e be possible it's not possible
and possible
ana Martin Kpebu si there be una wo ye panyin na me de asama to so na e be dey na wa confirm with somebody dey nkura e sha wase so mo be investigate enti ma me independent body na me no mo nya adwuma asem ni nyina ni o lawyer Kissi Adjabeng mu na na ti kwa pai
kudum
no esotafo no eto da bia de wa ye bu mu no se de ye dom no mamo ho kwan man krofo bi mfa mo nyanya ma bi and I was so happy say omo withdraw military for na no mo electoral commission James ho no and electoral commission and I was a military for coordination my Kissi Adjabeng for ho no e yam to kwa zone na is a war zone enti military for na omuni Martin Kpebu ekọ didi na temu a Martin Kpebu so respond ya e ma o detain no na anyway yeah once and yesi asa so bonyum ba ko ma me na me fa last one enso so office na mo kra yesi yempe office na mu na wakopa no the office of the special prosecutor no yesi yempe it is waste of resources boyaka e kan huru aye oman no yenya mfaso bia mfi so meme tax ene e de ba ho ene yesi yempe because all this was charge sheet back e kira kwa na account no na yasese bia kira yakwa say ye osisa charges no so I'm asking myself say on what grounds and or terms has me call
inconsistencies
on what grounds and or term
lack of evidence
and in court asa wo mu ahun wie no abeto asem na to unim ade na oye ne eya konongo kaya o konongo kaya en wo ye wo cases ni bi mu ono a onkyere ne ho soa ono so ontwe ne ho ma attorney general soa en wo ye barrier na osi honom eti rekeno for ata de waje aboso konongo kaya ono a ontwe ne ho ma obu soa ono so ade na o soa no me ntia say the what I don't understand
Papa so criminal law law school.
You Martin Kpebu.
No, I'm not.
Kissi Adjabeng. Na me dia me nya no na fa me.
Na me wan say obi a wo lecture in criminal law.
Afani my Kpebu voice na ready ambo ma ye nko ni mo.
Na edwuma kakra we ya yetwa budget ama o sika do so puo. Na wuntumi nye edwuma die na se bio bra resign e. Ka resign.
Me dwene wa amenti ase so what did ten when me say also waka kire ne say onkofa property
onu amra.
The policeman who initially came and told us to move, we shouldn't do the interview where we were. You know, when I came in, he said nothing to me. He's Mr. J. I don't see his first name. Usually they'll just put the surname. J. He stood there. He was quiet. Then I went past him. But these soldiers who couldn't contain it. So you see that there's a difference in the training. Police are trained differently from soldiers. Soldiers is war, high aggression. So for them, they couldn't contain it. So the policeman who came and, just like we're doing this interview, told us to move from the, we're not on the direct frontage of the OS.
So that was lawyer Martin Kpebu. We check some reasons why and ra omo detaining no na baby ana e mani kan say also handcuff anyhow. I said nipa no minim I don't get it. The whole thing I don't understand. Lawyer Kissi Adjabeng. Obi ani woni problem o. Me problem I me no one say office na wo occupy no. Ye boka wo office no ho a ye nyamfa so obi free office no so. E simple as ABCD. Enti ye say office no ye Ghana fo, ye say ye mpe. Ani ye catch President Mahama say only office ni free ho. Na sika puduo na ye de ba wo office wa na ye nyamfa so obi free so no. Ye fo say sika no nkɔ bo attorney general. Wo lawyers ni wo mo ka ho a wo na mo ye adwuma no. Ye che wo mo gu attorney general offices no so na be yi a. Ye reassign wo mo na ye decentralizing attorney general office no to the district level. Wo say Ghana ye pe duplications do. Enti office ebetimi performing ABCD no ni a creative office bebre enti office ba akopɛ ni duplicates be na wo ho OSP ade ya wo we duplication of attorney general pure duplication of attorney general because the powers no ye yi for attorney general ye poni bi for attorney general ene de man no me ba cho bra biam ne enko enti se ekoba ne say ubetimia meki arresta ubetimia meki is clear in the law.
The economy keeps getting better.
Yeah.
And I think with the recent figure with regards to inflation it give you a certain picture skill description of how well our economy now can position because one thing about inflation is our direct linkage with what is happening.
Yeah.
Because the rise in prices, goods and services.
Yeah.
So the very moment you hear inflation is coming down, automatically it means that the rate at which a cost stabilize it and shut out any ways. And for me, I think that I don't affect the average and the ordinary. The consequential impact is very overwhelming. I think I hope things will get better. The stability of the city is another key thing. And again, on top of it, the massive widening in terms of your debt to your GDP. Clearly shows the economy is gradually coming back to life after years of your friends bruises and near my firm. I think Ghana Nibia or baby when things are getting better, your job is to just support and guarantee because at the end of the day, and for me, I think that is positive.
All right. Just here free and run nearby one near free petitions are abba for the removal of the OSP electoral commissioner minority says kwabana sa na che say yem pese betu corruption ase ade sa ya na yete say OSP na mukra so ne Martin Kpebu issue wa detain no yen komra say afede we releasing on some say prekesen so yen ka that to aspect no embom.
Okay, yeah, I think there be a make democracy anywhere the foundational way institutions.
Yeah.
So in any your friends saying democracy be a grow and mature to a certain level, no, you get in and you realize institutions have a great footholding because I think your pillars, your friends say beneath the establishment and answer the democratic whole process, no.
Yeah.
So anywhere over sense weak institutions, it means that democracy there is fragile, just hanging on, and a or break down any point in time. That is why I always have been advocating say it is very important for us to build strong institutions instead of building strong men who will be operating at the behest of their personal emotions or whatever. And the institutions in that regard, these institutions will be very effective and they will help us to streamline and also help us fight some of the cankers are very often popping up like corruption. And then as a forum. So with regards to petitioner, will be submitted seeking the removal of Kissi Adjabeng, the office of the special prosecutor, Nipan Odano, and the EC boss, I think they are in line with democratic practices. Because we are not living in a country where the president will wake up a day and say, Mapamu Kofi. No. The constitution will not allow the president to do that. And the framers of the constitution thought it wise such situations will definitely arise because with the 2 million they can go overboard, overdrive, And some of these, windows have been created. Say, the citizens will also have the right to exploit this avenue that has been created, to inquire whether it is possible to remove these people based on and yet my series of such happenings. I see. My man started from Kissi Adjabeng. I think that my culture of my position on the office of the special prosecutor said it was a useless. Because the intent and the purposes for its establishment, it wasn't about fighting corruption. Because my culture said in any serious democratic dispensation, if you want to fight corruption, you don't need to set up many offices. It is about the political will and the commitment on the part of the power holders. We are willing to ensure that we will crack the whip and allow institutions to work. So very often you see multiplicity of institutions with overlapping responsibilities coming in. Then actually we are just communicating to the people out there, say we are doing something, but in reality we are doing nothing. So we have the special prosecutor, President Akufo-Addo, set up. Received that idea, then they had a right candidate to be used to execute that agenda. Because at the time the NDC has exited power in Ghana, they needed to go after people who had in the previous administration done A, B, C, D. So their choice at the time was Martin Abidu, who was very bitter and very angry, and they thought that they could tap into his anger, his venom, and use him against certain individuals. Amatiamedu proves that even though he was angry, but he's a man of conviction and will not allow himself to be used in that kind of game. So he prevailed against those influences. Then at the end of the day, we all saw what happened. Then fast forward, Kissi Adjabeng came in, and then it has been drama upon drama upon drama upon drama. At some point in time, he did a press conference and said the government of the day what time in hands, and I was not allowed to work. I have a basic principle. Say, ya for juma se be na se nipa na offer se be juma say, oh, see what no kwanya. As a principled person, what you do is to announce to the whole world, resign and go home. You don't sit at the office and draw salaries, and later you come and justify why you failed. For me, that was a no-go area, but that is the kind of the justification that he gave to the people of this country, because Akufo-Addo government did not allow him. About justification, because you walk away. That is exactly what Martin Abidu did. That is what a person of principle and higher conviction will do. You are seeking to impose your opinions on me. I'll walk away and tell you I won't do the show. You understand? I will not sit here and kowtow to your dictates. And then later I'll go out to tell people, so in seven and TVs na make any na Yaa Titi na oka. Obi abeku say win nyansa. Exactly. So I was expecting him to have resigned at the time and put the government on notice. You didn't do that, but rather he was in love with the job and the goodies that were coming with it. And unfortunately for him, there hasn't been any case Kissi Adjabeng from day one now. What may lead to a successful prosecution. Me who say wa prosecute wa bebe anasa akoko from day one and all that they tell you is we have recovered money, we have saved this, we have saved this SMLD by the very person who broke the lead on this particular case. I Manasseh. Manasseh brought the details of it, which led to the subsequent investigation by other bodies, and then the issue became a national phenomenon, and we were discussing. So you later going to visit that particular issue, trying to put a monetary value on it and tell the people, say, oh, they are saving you are a joke. Man, a special prosecutor, Tam, or Shenity, as a more war, Sudan, and Popping no muko sisila da papi eko tutu nempa be catch say na duku sika eguminie kika nsem bebre another the day no issues no be foolish case. It got to a point that says baby ababedru there we need to refer it to your friend saying Yoko because we have a bit of your friend saying money laundering and other stuff in it, so it is outside our remit as a special prosecutor as we speak now. The Cecilia Dapar case has been rendered useless. It was a fertile case which the state could have prosecuted and ensured that we got to the at the bottom of it. Cecilia Dapar case is saying, and there are several of such cases. And for me, sitting afar and watching Kissi Adjabeng on the screen, I'm told he's a very smart, intelligent lawyer.
Yeah.
And Omo Wachiro Omwadie will school will attest to the fact he's indeed a very intelligent young man. But yeah, I think he has a deficiency. And that deficiency is he's emotionally overbearing. Yeah. And he's unable to control his emotions. And that has overridden in the sense of reasoning. And so we see most of the press conferences, you could see clearly say, clouded with emotions instead of reasoning. And never out of sheer emotions and reasoning diminish bit by bit. For instance, so since former finance minister issue by the series of press conferences I got there. If you go through NASA was scripted now the chronology of events now consistency in some which was a name in some so when and that consistency is missing. And again, it has gotten to a point you see the office to settle personal scores and vet data with people they are against him. Yeah. Classical example, the Martin Kpebu case here. Martin has been one of the people who have been on the trenches with us, seeking to ensure we protect this estate from encroachment. Any other individual, and state, be now government, be making sure that the minor will be disadvantaged. So he has been a soldier on the trenches. I am not saying that he's above the law. Yeah. Or can't you have every right to take him on. Yeah. But Martin Kpebu alleges that you are a corrupt person sitting at the OSP office. What's in the thing you can do is that as someone can free say you can sue him for defamation. And again, where you require him to provide further and better particulars to justify or authenticate his position, common sense will tell you, because I'm saying as a person and I want allege against you, your office is precluded from calling him.
The tone we allowed you to park was like even parking was a favor. So I didn't understand. You come in here, we will not allow you to go out. So I retorted that no, he has no right to curtail my rights. In any event, I'm just there to help, right? They said come and give further information. I'm not under any investigation. I'm not a this person. So then I continued going. Then a colleague of his, another soldier, then shouted to me that next time I do that, I will see. That's why I said next time. So that kind of threat, the Ghanaian English, next time you do that, you will see. In Ghanaian English, that means he will cause me some. You will see there will be consequences, even if it's not physical harm, but there will be consequences. So I turned and gave him the same answer that no, he has no right. I'm not a suspect. Even a suspect, can you do that? So I said he had no right. Then next thing I knew, he said, I'm stupid. That's what the soldier said. The soldier said, I am stupid. Oh, of course. So I turned back and told him to that he's also stupid. So we exchanged a few words. And then one of my lawyers pulled me for us to go in. We went, and then, as usual, the OSP chose to present employees. When we had made it clear at the second meeting that, look, considering that almost all of my allegations are against Kissi Adjabeng, who is a special prosecutor, and these are his subordinates. The subordinates can't do much about their bosses. Martin, say do that. Can you investigate if, let's say, Mr. Nyama, your this CEO? You can't investigate Mr. Nyama, much less the MD. So that's the same thing. And even before I was invited, Ghanaians had said it on various social media and private messages to me that how can OSP himself. But you know me, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I thought that as long as they can do something to accommodate that to show independence, I'm willing to give the information. In any event, I'm almost done. I'm presenting the petition to the president for onward submission to the CJ. I have a lot of charges. As I'm talking to now, I have over 15 charges against Kissi Adjabeng. I'm not running away from this fight. So the least they shouldn't have even tried it. You don't try such a thing. You see, you don't try such a thing. It just tells you the very incompetency. My arrest and detention underscores the incompetence with which Kissi Adjabeng sat down and allowed Oforiatta to run. Kissi is not up to scratch. Kissi has never been up to scratch. Because you see, how would you arrest Kpebu? When I already said it, today is 3rd December. I mentioned on 2nd of November, you can check on the key points that I'll be presenting a petition for his removal. So such a person like me, and you know me, once I say I'm going to do this, I'll do it. So just stay clear of. Look, I don't mind the arrest, even assuming the exchanges with the soldier were illegal and so amount to something that they want to arrest. Remember in law, there's a difference between arrest and detention. The arrest is you tag the person, you are under arrest, I'm investigating you for so and so offense. So when you are done, admit the person to bail, right? Then let the investigations continue. Can you imagine? Ablom said yes, bail, but I should bring a property in my name. For what? So a soldier insults me, Martin, you are stupid, and I also tell him you are stupid. That's the effect of the words. And
let us detach the office.
Yes, that I should bring property in my name. And where's the indenture? Fortunately for me, my office is just about 10 minutes from the office. I have indenture in the office. So when we argued, my lawyers argued for about 15, not that continuously 15. My lawyers made a plea that, look, I should be given self-recognizance bail, right? And then said, Ablom said, okay, he would go consult. So he stepped out. So we thought it was going to be a favorable response. So he came in about 15 minutes and said no, they would not do so. They will not vary the conditions to give self-recognizance. So then I told Mr. Marcelinus Bia, one of my lawyers who accompanied me, okay, Marcel, go to the office. I have indenture in my name. Just bring it. And my office is just, you can see, you can attest. There's less than 10 meters drive to the OSP. So Marcel came, long story short. So Mr. Ablom asked that I be handcuffed and taken into custody, that it was too late, and that even when we brought the indenture, they would have to do verification. So practically talking about justification for exchanging words with a soldier who didn't know the right thing. He's not supposed to be performing police duties. A soldier performing police duties in the OSP. You see the very thing we're talking about. Article 210 of our constitution is clear that, look, you soldiers for war and there may be some development activities. But here you had the police, two policemen in there, and so if anything, if you think the building is under threat, anything, you use the soldiers as backup. But if you go to the OSP, the soldiers are performing front.
Just talk to people.
See, this thing have been mentioned that soldiers are taking away the work of the police. You see, it has manifested.
I think that we don't need to waste time to go through this petition. The office of the special prosecutor Nankasa, and for so be any so.
Office lemon,
then back to your friend saying jokers Yomugu electoral commissioning. Yeah, I think that you see, Makacha said these guys are jokers because omuye nipa omo scintilla of respect for themselves, an iota of respect for themselves. And kaye niha and ko bia metena ha meka petition asem. Because what you do is the very moment elections no go wrong now, you tender in your resignation and you go home. And that will not be the first time. We've had instances where even more powerful people have been asked to go home. Yet the Chroma say, your friend is saying,
Ivan, Mr. Monchake Sad and the Mamma background for be and Namasie. Mr. Monchake Mammy.
So, yeah. So, what's here, your friend is saying, Nema Akoswa, a month for resigning from a more powerful position as a chain way. Now, no, yet here in UK, how many prime ministers now resign here? How many? About in a succession because Niama no more in a position of take here no infringe on public trust, public confidence, and for that matter, they resigned and nobody put a gun to their head. But we live in a society that then Obianye ready to do those things. And then back to America, Makacha said they had a time, a vice president, Spiro Agnew. Because when he was a senator in Maryland at the time, he was fingered in a case of corruption. When he came up, he was forced to resign as a vice president of a powerful country in the world, America. 9 months after, the sitting president, Nixon, that was when the Watergate scandal popped up. The president was also forced to resign. So this will not be the first time. We've had instances where people have resigned from most powerful offices. So how the election was conducted in 2020 and 2024, and some of the commentaries are any decent-minded person will tender your resignation, thank the people of this country, and walk away. Because some of this petition was expected, petitions are air trying seeking to remove Germans and any microphone a bag so kaya. These things have gone through filter. And into 6 me say ye giant can the beba and ye marketwa. Petition na abano. 7 petition no. Let me break it down, yeah. Each brothers and sisters. Yes. You see, some of these petitions you can never survive.
Yeah.
You can, because one petition may allege about 4, 5, and now 20 allegations. Even if one goes through, you go home.
Yeah.
So one petition can allege 20 or 30 infractions. Even if one goes through, you are going home. How much more 7 different petitions? Let's say Obia alleged like 10 different allegations. So that will give you 70. If you fall on even one, you are going home. So you don't subject yourself to this. It's not as if there are people who, minorities, they are being hounded.
Yeah.
When they were foolishly acting in this particular country against the will of the people of this country, what did they do?
Yeah.
At the time, everything favored them. When we were very much concerned about the sanctity of our democracy and the fact that the actions and the inactions of the Electoral Commission at the time, could turn this particular country into a war zone, they never heed to any of the wise counsel that anybody said. IPAC, which has for a very long time has been some sort of a body.
Yeah.
We engage dialogue and seek the way forward. It was at some point in time they weaponized. It wasn't anymore about dialogue.
Yeah.
It was about accepting in toy parties and toy presidential candidates and using the numbers to do elections on key issues. So the culture of having to deliberate and coming to a consensus was thrown away. The Electoral Commission was dictating at the behest of their individual wishes and rather well imposing it on political party. Is the reason why when NDC dropped out of the IPAC, the Electoral Commission could not do anything to bring them back because they thought, but we were going into a very crucial election and the security of this particular country was on the line. Yeah, we sat in this country when J. Mensan deliberately on Friday cut the people of SAR from the register.
Yeah.
And they were denied constitutional representation for a period of 4 good years. That alone is enough ground for their removal. And if possible, they need to even go to jail for that. Yeah. Because that is a constitutional requirement. Our constitution, every Ghanaian in every nook and cranny of this country deserve a representation in parliament. So for you to unilaterally sit at your office and your friends say a whole community, the diabolic intention was to ensure that Amewu will win the seat for the MPP, and that's exactly what he did. And subsequent to that, she could have conducted election for the people, but we sat in this country for good years. Minority, not much China. They went for holidays, so they didn't see what has happened. So people say, you see, politics here,
yeah.
We need to do this policy of decency. Sabaya oba abontina wo allegia, a man of good conscience will find sense in whatever you're saying. Say, oh, asema papa ike no kreo. But you do not build such a castle of such nonsense in your favor. And at the end of the day, people are seeking to break down that castle. You come back and complain. Yeah. No sensible person who agree with you. So for me, I think that the petition that have been submitted to the president, they are in line with constitutional requirement. And President Mahama doesn't have a choice. Because once it has been submitted to him, it is his job to forward it to the Chief Justice. They establish the prima facie or not. Yeah. At the end of the day, if they are able to establish credence, then the committee will be set up and the necessary thing will have to be done. And subsequent to that, the president will have to follow through with the dictate of the committee. And that's exactly what is going to happen in this particular country. And for me, I think that, you see, these are shameless bunch of people. On their own, they will not resign. Just like Toko no dear, yeah, say the way by this same individual, because yeah, what you say now we electoral commissioner. now we yes sober reflection now two anywhere near my course okroma but macho man of Free University of Ghana by friends boss Manasare. This is somebody from academia. This is somebody from academia.
Yeah.
All on board, you could see a certain intelligence will be brought to bear. But on no crowd there, not choke. Yeah. This is a guy who made a categorical statement here. One of the critical stakeholders in the electoral enterprise process, and the NDC, you know, a threat to Ghana democracy. And this person sat there as a neutral arbiter and an independent person who was supervising elections. Does it make sense? And they mention the belligerent posturing that they assumed. Oh, Makasa Yebeya, the registration center, no, our district level, no, there, no, a lot of people were denied because Okonofwa to travel from a district capital to some of the villages, yeah. Now, I feel no car now. When you register now, when they call hand, our district, just stop a lot of people from exercising their franchise. And I think that if you want evidence, you can go to the north and you get millions of evidence. So for me, these people have crossed the Anakwaba Kubi Council for Nitete. Also in Klasika, and these people, such uncultured beings, should not be sitting at the Electoral Commission. When issues came, very contentious issue, and people were doubting the credibility of the electoral register. What are some of kind? Oh, register na to about that yes, this is somebody who feed from the taxpayer. This is somebody who feed from he rather uttering nonsense to the people of this country. So for me, because they did all this thing because they felt they were in a comfortable zone because somebody brought them on board for a particular agenda. And so far as the person was in power, their tenure was safeguarded. What I say? And the 2020 elections, 2024 elections, the parliamentary elections, look at issues. One of them, Pandaya. So this Pandai issue is another prima facie for the incompetence of the Electoral Commission. And several of such cases are likely to pop up. So for me, I think that nobody on his right senses in this country can sit and say, the Electoral Commission is being hounded. O can say the conduct our Electoral Commission is conduct. You see, we live in a country where very reactionary and emotional people. Oh, let us forgive. No, we cannot do that. For me, I think that some of these things, we need to establish the conventional red lines. Who say your files are easy. Your files are Chief Justice, and you want an akonya and you fear konya. A day of reckoning, a day of accountability will come. That is the message that we need to send to people out there, so that we all be measured in our endeavor. Because President Mahama is the president of this country, but he cannot wake up a day and say, "Me na me president, He cannot do that. Because he is also operating as president within the limit of the law. What I say? But you cannot sit in a public office and be acting foolishly and belligerently. They were not amenable to wisdom. They were not amenable to reasoning. They were acting at the behest of their own twisted kind of emotions or whatever interest that they had at the time. This is the time for us to go through the constitutional process. I don't care what anybody says, oh, Mahama Baye, or try to. He's resetting the country. And anybody, any individual, any institution, biana, the actions or inactions, identity, the credibility and attracting the foundations of our democracy must go down. Because no single person is bigger than this country. And I'll be disappointed if President Mahama doesn't do that. Because that is what he told the people of this country. So I'm sure, now he's ready to go through everything and nobody should sway him. The constitutional process should be allowed to go through another day. If it is established that J. Mensah and his people are clean, they should continue to do their job. We will welcome them with double arms. But if it happens that the actions, the inactions, in the past, threaten your democracy, the constitution can fertile grounds for their removal, then they need to go home. There is no pity about some of these things because actions must have consequences, and there is no way to go about it than to make sure that these petitions go through.
All right, Doda Watara. I don't know if I got your name correct. I think I will complain with the sound. I think it has been corrected. Ni Kpebu Ado. Was it Yazaki your sound guy? Oh. Why it has been sorted. Tracy Spark or say okay. Oh, then I think messages in the crowd na margin war innocent submission also. Mofanchem why Blaze say yeah, read your message and fix the problem. Pacho, the problem has been fixed. Tracy say it's now okay. Kobna Ochria or see you are not. Oh, I'm reading the comments. That's another more.
So they can't any sound on back.
Oh, but I think there was a background. President Mahama voice be enamasiye. And now said they are finding difficult to hear what they know. Ruby ABC or say, oh okay, it has been fixed, so don't worry. Bliss or say Ivan is a top-notch communicator. Abdul Razak or say they read comments after the show. My wife said the money number bomb charge. Noah the ark builder. But say this country doesn't just need anyone keke to lead us as a nation, but a pragmatic and decisive, competent person like Dr. Brian Champo. John Kofi or say good morning, yeah, Majo. So Beneza Mokto, so good morning, Mr. Ivan. As for you yesterday, but I'm praying that Class Media Facebook will not disappoint me. Please, I hope you are not disappointed. All right, thank you. John Kofi or say yeah, good morning, Pacho Majewo. So Pimpina. Hey, I guy name and answer saying say that this the shareholder mean to me in Kawo TV. So OSP is like air coming out from rice cooker. It's just a useless office. The office must be investigated and jailed as well. Cause too much financial the state. All right. Yan to us na issues no edoso ye be hwe na afi yet me make justice to all of them. Fallout from NPP revised constitution and NPP for so more assistant woman na Justin Kodia Frempong and Ivan who follow ya or say adia ba ko say na apathy asi wo party. Say some people felt neglected and then they've decided say review your more constitution now more de be adwuma no or more the old ABI executive MPs ebeka abato no to participate in the upcoming flag bearership elections there, because I think that is what they are saying. Say a party now a see what party more say one of the issues more lose elections, you know. And at the toss to be so almost some boy yes and for so boy say yeah dear ye me I no na the kwaso President Mahama move no my enka na power is transit nti enra dem abebre na course so launching of their new constitution. Innocent.
Yeah, I think Justin Kodia is the perfect person to represent the state MPP woman.
Okay.
Yes, because he has demonstrated clearly how incompetent he has always been, and that is the sad state the party finds itself. So you see the mirror reflection. Yes. So almost so I am not surprised, because there be a cancer. The sad state MPP are degenerating into a na. So more biya born somewhere. They should look straight into President Akufo-Addo. Ramon Kancheren say he did not only come to destroy Ghana, but rather he came to destroy the MPP as a tradition, from which our money to me money be yakunya. Because ever since they exited power, if you look at the state MPP go ma. What's in China where you'll be aware admirer of Ghana's democracy, clearly you become disappointed because you might wish the MPP as an entity become more responsible, more efficient, will be led by men of higher moral integrity, conviction. But ever since they exited power, near more demonstrating nothing but incompetence, recklessness, and near unreasonableness elements, are quite overriding in the things that they do. Near more who has a for instance, when this idea was conceived of doing this top-down approach, maybe I can't be. They thought, oh, what the more anti-MPP enthusiast. And whatever that comes up, whatever that comes up, we go for it. But President Kufuor came out and said the same thing. Is President Kufuor anti-MPP enthusiast? Kwame Pianimba, the same thing. The statement we made, he re-echoed the same thing, said he didn't find any sense in what the MPP was doing. Makacha said, he who the gods want to destroy, they first make mad. Because this is people, they are jump over Ghanaians. They think they are sitting on a certain high horses better than Obia. Yeah. So whatever they perceive to be right, that should be the state of play. Nothing will convince them to slide. And consistently, you could see that the party keeps degenerating and flop into the gutters. Even in doing their job as an responsible opposition party, that is not what they are doing. Go to parliament and see how people like Afenyo Marken has transformed the place into a comic stance where people go there and, argue nothing but nonsense. That infuriates Ghanaians the more. Because when we watch proceedings in Parliament in quite recent, now heard the posturing of Afenyo Marken and his people, and the debate on the topic, and the kind of posturing the positions, and very often let's walk away kind of stance now. It is not something that convinces Ghanaians to forget about the excesses of the Akufo-Addo government, but rather it is rather an extension and a Parliament, because you don't lose power and now zoom a set posturing very stiff that media is the opposition, whatever happens, I'm against. You see, you must begin to appeal to the conscience of the people of this country who gave you a technical knockout in the elections. Now, no make a platform, we say, so aren't me as somebody, you're worried about the depreciating numbers of the MPP. Now, I say, what should I be worried?
Are you part of them?
No, why should I be worried? I appreciate that the party will be efficient, but the fact of the matter, the numbers MPP have in Parliament, if they have to blame, they should go to Akufo-Addo's doorstep and ask him, because he led a historically bad governance in this country. And no outcome. When they went to Kumasi and they wanted what you call, your friend is saying, the people of Wei, one of the largest constituencies in Kumasi, my friend is saying, when they were asking for a road, the president sat on radio. Kwabre. He told them when he got to the election, they to show their thumb somewhere. They decided not to vote. So if you had your friends have poor numbers in Parliament, you come back and blame me. So there is no sympathy. Nobody is going to. After losing the seat in Parliament, even playing opposition role, you keep losing the numbers. You keep losing the numbers. So for me, I think that we need to sit down as a country. Now you look through the fine lines and tease out how opposition parties are supposed to behave. Because that is not what they are doing. And then put themselves up for elections. Me makacha manfo say o he nipa yo motwasia de o he nanima animunyam kakra wom our person of high convection value the friend say Kwabena Japan. Yes, and he is the person anka MPP could have defaultly come say okay, look, the Ghana for form the party in na muin. Kwabena Japan is somebody sharply he's disconnected from all this nonsense that happened under Akufo-Addo. And he's a person who has proven to be a bit of a higher integrity as compared to the rest. And I am putting him there as the new face of the MPP. For me, that may even appeal to a certain Ghanaians. But you look at the individual like Brian Champon, who was at the center of a lot of criminal activities in this country, including the Ayawaso West Wagon, saying a pandemonium that occasioned. You look at Baumia, who led the most abysmal economic downturn in the history of this country, and there was a haircut and other excesses that drove this particular economy into the gutters. And who again? Kennedy Japan, who has verbally committed a lot of criminal atrocities against others. And I'm not saying so many people. This is a guy who has proven to be emotionally unstable. He's not predictable, and you cannot rely on him. What will go haywire at any point in time? The presidency is a very nation. You are armed with the your friend saying the highest authority of the state. You cannot be unpredictable. You cannot be somebody who cannot be predicted. And says, I'm your president. Now they're about Nibufua, they are not by. And then the other guy, also can't hear your friend say the education minister. On my counters or no, or for Uncle Pentecost, non microphone, Uncle Preachy. Because he's not even, there is nothing about him that I care for president. And some of these things, rather identity the aura and the sanctity of the office. Because the seekers, must reflect the office. If you get to a time where any unruly character, any incompetent anybody at all in the name of having amassed money through fair or foul means, you can say, I want to be president. You should know that country is in danger. Because the presidency, is being seen in a certain light. Because in the past, Papa he will be a fine president. But now, there is we don't attach that aura of reverence to the office anymore. Is there anybody at all can Papa say, I want to be president? No, I think that the MPP is an arena of comedy show in series. And I think that the outcome will come. Ghanaians will know because the opposition job there, that is not what they are doing. Even in opposition, look at the way they're conducting themselves. Common engagement with people like Kufo and Nko Krano. Kufo has complained many times. Say, oh no, Obian ho engaging. And again, people who left the party, like Mimia Solo, Alan, and several others, a certain effort could have been made. Say, okay, we made a mistake, so let us try to bring it. But they will never accept that they made a mistake. Now, this is my running or my to the gutters. They still say, now I want to apply for, and somebody was telling me, say elections today Ghana for MPP, so they will vote. You may say you are jokers. you are a joker because no rational sane person will make such your friend say analysis on TV. Such analysis no natural by the what we are when you how you can say that for fun, but it's not an argument we make on TV where rational people are watching. So I think that they can continue. Ridiculous. 2028 is not far. And as long as John Mahama and his government continue to deliver on the mandate and the promises that he made to the people of this country, Ghana are not forgetful. And they will make sure, they will reward him for that. Why you continue to do this dirty stuff in opposition? I think the best thing that will happen to them is the party leadership must be changed. The Afenyo Market, whatever he's doing, will only satisfy party food soldiers. It's just a mere party food soldier. They don't even understand the actors and the dynamics of politics. And they all appeal to foot soldiers, but not reasonable minds. But in politics, you need to get the reasonable minds on your side to be able to win any election.
All right. So, good morning.
Yeah.
There was some penalty.
Now, one of the more penalty, and now maybe drew higher some one new program.
The last 2 weeks.
Yes.
There was a challenge, but I didn't see a fix it, and I don't know. I would have
a challenge. Challenge.
We are
my member was given. I chop a mood for for say, Bakumi, you been to my PMU.
Me was all called baby and son. Okay, come on, Sadia, and now the Metana question.
Is here, no, the Jumana Dosso. Now, Obu tot. That I get here, bedroom, Hanama bedroom. 3 minutes, go back a massive. You have a very grass.
All right, so far I come here, no back up, Mamma. Electoral Commission petition, special prosecutor, the minority say, we special prosecutor, and I say, abandon pursuit to corruption, I say, and Nra or send detainee. Na what they or more review of constitution no atwa so maja to say na a party our party nim and say one be involved with the past executives to get involved in voting activities and many other things that they talk about.
Yeah, me that's Richard Ivan so me the woman say your friend is a many minority na ya gonna say ye OSP on them more corruption no into us here to say you need the alliance here be conquer session asem na obuka sa da chiro ba ya mo obuka asem ya mo mabaso so obuka the try na mo analyze na because senye OSP we no ho ono afenyo no ho no ECG chrono keta se proya ono say ECG ye wan say ye wia e krobe ba na so ma be mu pa na obi be kasa asem no cho na OSP ne dey echo enye OSP we na wo ho a obi akotu amena 97 million ye hwehwem oko scholarship secretariat ye wia fake documents nkofo agi hu sika OSP ti ho oti ase national service die na akonkon hoyi baby look ajima menu okrom a
ani o ma
V at the airport the share crowd the abebo ye zip line say any tia if you say
say
na condom apart from that you know ye tia busumi bia $528,000
yeah
aba kwa brane ko di o enti se minority be catch say muyi OSP a corruption no emwa de wo catch say muyi ni firu ye ho be kire timamu nyino se ne be ya ba be attack nti we house of folk ni yi ko kire goalkeeper we o patch say mo clear man OSP mo nyini free of us and akra de wasa asem no Kpebu a wa say asem no kra me kwa de abon 945 visa ba na won sorry a kon sorry for resignation letter
emra na asem
asa ye ni da wie because you so sanse mu no so you are not investigating Kpebu on any corruption charges.
Exactly.
And only the mandate of your office or investigate corruption and corruption related offenses. That's what the music abra.
Yeah.
People now, what's the we invite is on the boa me you now. Some member I don't know any time. Say one day so Jenia Casa so did that time go so. Ah, Kpebu how quite them trust so. Kpebu so catch so you stupid. I want to say we are stupid also you are stupid. Ah, Kpebu why you need
super stupid.
Men fan coffee go so ho. Say yes the Bible say obi bo asu wo hard wa da wo bo akwa na otwe na adwene left. Wo bia bo asu wo a.
Ah, ni bo ya den.
Otwe na adwene left.
Na sa nkwasi a principle na ya
say obi abo me ma sumo ha. Na ma sa dane ha dia ma. Na ma so asi.
Modam.
Ah ono so na sumo ho. Bombi eye patu pa get to get e ho na
Eno wa na wabo two.
Kpebu de enu ano eye so omuja na omu ayo omuti ne ye.
O amanya na aka no pay e be deja.
Oh that ano pay so so ko me abi free am e ko ho. You see OSP no on ne ho. He must be told. Keno foriata obi also chi no eye keno foriata eye omu amabobo di so mo wi oman no.
Yeah.
Onche womo obi a ono kire na adwe so wo ye corrupt no wasan so ready so oba wa ba be prove na okra aka no bi e court ni o judge e judge ni on court
yeah
wo no de so bo na bo
na wa se
wasan so be so tena so na wo na agura de ekro be ekra ni na wa nya young man bi tin je verse samida ko no asaba hat ba asema making strategic
asema making na so ha
so ka wo ya no be kasaba hat maybe tax me to be change you tiauka
yeah
who know be kasa try be kasa because your position is linked to the fact say Kissi Adjabeng o it is say ofiri wa mu ni aduma it just say ade ni nsem huru kwa no
o defend and he doesn't even know how to talk
and you know sa OSP we dey maka also and on one be resign na nye fefefe ni nyina yenye dey ye move on. That's all office require any papa be amudi muntu na enwu budget ye fan ko ka to ni general ho ya ka se corruption institutions require do so do yoko charge ni yenki kambom some person nya ande ya na nya one na ya mumra ni nya yenki kambom ni hu se corruption a institution di hu se ye ntu ase ane de so bo no ye de e ko bo na we dey we so o anti money laundry mu we so o corruption related offenses we so o human rights we dey situation no eno ti e ni sa ebe boye MP before they say and I'm so go the constitutional
review
na metie me abenu ya kodia besresa se kodia wa adwuma ko fatu ho si yetu fo senye general secretary ngwa na ya adwuma na gidigidi ube ya general secretary be ya and one say say I want to be nya adwuma. There is no constitutional amendment ebetumi apepe free Ghana for tirimu say ye de $97 million akotu amena and into uchenyi anase wa amend the constitution na you refi ni akotu abama entumi nsano There is no MPP constitutional amendment. A bit me up free Ghana for trim say inflation at a point could do 54%. What's the South Constitution in Tino? A China young got to Abamount. There is no constitutional amendment to make me free Ghana for trim say at a point. Now you're talking about 300 cities. Rage ya, ma maybe go your friend Aisha. Or call you and about on 300 cities. Contempo second important also near Tony part 300 and the Kufadu. Nipo ice water. There is no constitutional year between me. There is no constitutional amendment. A bet me as the fact say can ofurata or this why born into what done you free on my and no better than a paper. Share some dear Yaka Yen says Capudio a better than constitution now one man no a bet me a paper. More than more to aba munyandu bia we si we born in you we si we born in your own guy we si we the 16 we si we the 30 we the 40 ye free o am be kire yare obi we abodam we autism ana se si akura de edamu o ye friend attach ya Ghana for the motherfucker onde
mate
wo elder wo be kire o be campaign kire ya o si Ghana for the motherfucker baby a campaign I could do no. And some of one no more here. No one who you. Ya to a say Yako a 7 December, ya not 1 year.
Yeah,
that's a couple as 2 or 3 days. So one was still a gun of 4 your mobile for MPP. So
yeah,
they say, one more in the year or media fame. Then Yaho Grosso. Na mama be good banks bebree. Dear amendment pan betumi asese free comforting mu say no ye adwuma Royal Bank, o ye adwuma Unibank, o ye adwuma Capital Bank, o ye adwuma UT Bank, o ye adwuma Heritage Bank, o ye adwuma all these banks ye gu no what if you won ye adwuma. Now so ko ye constitutional amendment ni the refi. How is you going to erase that? Ana pedi bi anso ni party no. Dear Kenya, and to way and the way for we are no horo bia bronye fa Canada wa horona just obi edu obi atem kwasi botwe young man
kete ne ma me kora me ne yepe
can you not wa just na dia ya no kwasa san kora we nyina so ya bira wo party na tia kire no ya nwu ho no mo but on beto mamu ba omi am because ba omi na nkasa no nka party no ntira asa amanfrafo aba party mu o mu nim kwa no almost say no almost say no so awi and the party the only thing also go ba na omo say omo ka say ye gu no obi abeje de share say wo na omo medom UP but e beduru ho
okay
shese and the party yes rerun wo mo
yeah pandai
omo headache pa yes rerun na obo ye wo but say be yom kwa campaign no already nyinami on say pani bi anim ti no mo ye internal elections ono so no support ba omia
yeah
ana omo north area tribal politics etia Brian ne Kennedy
yeah
on say nyame on pebone ana by election rerun there aba eti Kennedy for say okay some say ba omia there bibia ba northern side all the be we need nyina
yeah
eji ongogoji tumi yimbra chene nyindam ni tipa nyina ne se be ya ba omia oni credibility wo no obi kwa kwagoji tumi no aba eno ntina omatam omoni oma omode ko Supreme Court afi the technicalities se emra omo file case no kra na 21 days no apa meanwhile one kasa wa affidavit in opposition wa affidavit ade oppose plaintiff ne you know wo kire wo yinam na kire ye say Electoral Commission gazetted results on the 6th of January.
Yeah.
And the 6th of January 21 plus 6 as year 27.
27.
It is a filing case on the 25th. My mistake.
Oh, yeah, mistake.
Because that said, I didn't know that because who said your money in Koye. Now, be a wouldn't so because Supreme Court. Now, when your minority leader to me a press conference, I said, did judiciary in the atom. What do you get the way strategy be no nya kwada dwene e na party egu a baabi a wo kwa pepere ye no wonya nkwa na ye buabua no aka so be kasa wo
kangaroo court
na wasan so aba be di won atem wo ye wasa akọ adwene ba yi abra wo e na anu ye a wo nko ne Ghana ni lawyer ni a ye ma sa 12 o'clock by 3 o'clock la kuta results ono nko ne Ghana ni a wo tumi ma Supreme Court tira say Friday Supreme Court for trial na wo wie ya
wasa didi o
matter mi wa case e hye na Akufo-Addo na president na tokonu na chief justice so to na asane judge no kra o te se obi ye na adwo obedi boni a na se tokonu ana na pese di boni se o se judge na nya papa dia na se tokonu na share akofa judge onye se government bedi boni so no kra ye nti ana April year 2025 year Obuasi East returning officer ka say NDC Samuel Abwaje wini omo tam court ka say no MBB ne wini na sa ta kangaroo court ni yo another mpre nya court ya o se kangaroo ya e de ka say another mpre dey na NDC go nya strategy crowd say ga wo opportunity so be tun omo so Obuasi East your friend is is a woman do agiri no atena ho ni e dia awo wani na wo de ba kwa we kwa yen ka so bia lusu ya se aba na mokoto ye no akinyu aba ho mon san gongo ye ne bio nyendam oso wini ba 3700 something ba na ni pa etu afri kro no aye 10% of the voter population and yes mon mesen san ko bio to aba no ma we e ya asem
enya asem bia ehu
ko election ya afidi adane bo achibidi eni atembidi eni akika no mbe yes because party no eni a year say sunsun bia nimbio enti wona ofiri akwatia ba ya buru wani susie ya wunya hu ho so ya sa kasa ba hat ye na akwatia ba ye say na omo so Ghana fo afio onko akwatia de ne sie
fumfram
sa se Ghana fo afio
ane
enti omo sa start Ghana fo afio ade nyame ncha de ba kwa sa be topandai
mon kwaje me ehwe
se do me bia ma omo gabo no me ma tu nye ndamfo se wanya kakra bi wo the bank account do ma fa go to atompre on fa go a mistake it's say you can lose 2 days at ube lose seat na say lose sika na sa party friend MBB unya go di opposition na wo di bibia ye come there be deal
and sadly that guy is a gentleman the way he has conducted himself
because you see Pandana Ngasa, you know, no original MBB ni.
Yeah.
Because Pandaya traditionally NDC seat.
Yeah.
Omu wini ya till 2012. Ana nyinam ebe independent candidate. So I say.
Yeah.
Enuti se omu nyinam na nim say look. Se si ano nyome wo no so kwa. Obede obelusu. Enuti MBB di omasem de. Nyame na ya adumwa Akufo-Addo tiasia egu a papa pani wo hwe a egu a mani age se satan ye kana no wogu no ofisi ye ntuskenifu oka ya na no wasa slange wo ye wo tudu ha ne ya wo slange wie so enu nti eye na de na so ale de wo se waye ana enva no
fa bom mo fa ne lithium no mom
lithium no de makama sem se they must immediately rescind the decision
ya na Ivan de Yapon
in fact if you say nya musika mo man ncha asase na se and now yenya time wa sika kra ngofo so mo de ba be $185 million no enye sika ihu bia Ghana yentumi emfa sika nkofa enko high ise wiase be bia de
na gold board nkwampo sika dodo se no mo de
ma de gold board kra national service dey wi national service lithium 2.4 billion wo say obi the $185 million ba be ship ye tu ya de
ye betu ya de
say nyanye ready na le bo for mu de mu nyanto ye lithium na duane wo ba bia edum mra nkwada no ba nyine nya technology na ye ntumi say bibia sa ye mistake with petroleum and our crude ye nyamo ade ba bia ye mistake with our gold ye mistake with our bauxite with our manganese with our iron lithium we nyame kura na ya adoma ma nyo ba bia church say e no kira mu say mu nyanto asa mo Ghana ni bia na no Ibrahim kokoje o take over Zuma yi be je somebody say foreign na power be fa ko de kam Ghana ni
fa Ghana ni
anya o tuna so discard ni nam ye dis wo ha ya menim say dem krom ha ye dey security but say be ma go fo barari Adjabeng. Sikari just give you $185 million. Si be mu gwa bom. Oh, Dabi. Chano de men support it. I will not support it today. To have that say, Oman Penny so afraid stakeholders say, Monsan take a second look. Oman Penny Mesro, take a critical look at it. Na ye make sure say Ghana for no. Today, I will lithium no so. But my proposal is say, dear be a yama Ghana ni nyadiam.
Okay.
Yamwa Ghana for no munya. Sika on bet me you bet me register 185 million. Ni akofa experts na sanga govo ya akofo no. This have your top expertise. Say ya na otia no a okọ Middle East. The owo ya no. Yaa Titi na we expert we no matter sika bro. Ba be adwuma we man. O ya say o ye mo. Ye tua kana ko be. Sa ne ye no wo ye ni special talent. Wa ya ma wa gi sika. Sort ya say na emeye Ghana for Japade. Na ye nsu ye nidim. Wa se ne de ya na ye. Who say who out? Kwada TV so matter fire them, quarter them. Better unsia.
Unsia de
kwada ketua ye ni awo mo am go school go so de mutu ka tese mo ba beje mo ma ben mo from kude. Kwada be ya we. Na no ba ku bi wa dwo so he style ne ma me nya bi da. Okay akonya
de no.
Ye busa ma me for activist one mo di 60 years mo si so mo tu ya
wa Davidson.
Kwada inye ye ba me fo yi be wiase ye nyira kwada tie
kitchen stool kura de
kitchen stool
me bida eso akura ti me ye
na kwada ye tumi aye style na ko ye style we enye ho do. But for me it is a true reflection of our state of now in the past no man kwada ni we are too much
na more practice no
a teacher for teacher no mo try exams na kwada o mo de more vigilators o mo copy. Ye fi say ye iba obi na emu bi na ba be medical doctors
no wa panye
boni editi emre bi enu wa e kire say ni so bitumi feli e say say enim say o man enim so be feli ti no ani am opportunity say obetumi reset so ya say aba ne say no say etena se ne man kwara na feli ye no o mu ehu so musua de so ya say musua de a o mu kono mbom ho de o mbetwa na obi a face remedial about 10 years. It's no pass here. Who is better than him?
There be.
It's vigilation. The man is tight. Me man kwa ni wia. Me ba on now me can jam class up or akran meti. Na me boy. I just me person meti class says and be a leaky. I don't want to know. Me person me control with my strength. Be failure be failure. Me pass am pass. And until that is it in the past near true results. Obi to the sort of students they more obi on more common myself cry dey man so what invest with hey the one who's been there since January and this is the true state of our education now for my textbooks no and start because kwada course secondary school yanko and starting ko now wo for no so kakra e benya no ye invest wisely say extra classes ne be ya man kwada na me am face sika no nkonko twa ye num ne ye nya omo ye mfam wo omo I mean I'll rather prefer say sika me be si dan no me be he me ma munyina mbesi a so ma kosi because dan be share ma on no e bia obenyina ye kolo enye baba
outmoded
nti me so be si dan ma and I cry ya higher what ye si dan cry means say cry ye nyigidie say ma be nyina ba be abede omo because you GDS oba ebenyira yo bi papa anase titire o man mu a wo house na yede aman yo hia no so obeboa no in this career projection say bia bakery no person o after school wa boa no asua ho nimde na watua agina baba asa no baba ye enoti results no de for me this is what we have been saying all this while okay mrebia oreku for the quarter pass question ma man kwara ko wi no mu didi o matem o mu didi na tem say ye free say we na eba kwara gini nyina yo say sa genzi ratio yo bibia ye fast track fried rice ye nya the fast
AI
it doesn't work like that ya bro the most no mo tia sia na ye ne sa ya you get the best out of them na omre asunti no be the manuasi
Ivan, for lithium ne wase no my employee.
Yeah, I think that your friends saying Wasi. I've said a lot about it, and I think said there will be a second main sure say anything stranger see.
Yeah,
it's just a true reflection of state of play.
Yeah,
over the years, and I think say you're making education some sort of a political way be a tool. Politicians seek to harness political capital. And I think Samra Free SHS by there was clearly a deliberate attempt just to monetize it in terms of political capital. So the dividend out, will be communicated. So yeah, the buy we the interman fund to Abamayan. So we adopted a lot of desperate measures.
Yeah,
the making sure we fixated on the results. And one of the famous comments the president made, they say, your friend is saying Akufo-Addo, your friend
graduates
because they had a good grade in as a forum. And Asemba Kwamam for Nkanese. Over the since 2020,
yeah,
Ghana breaking away from WAEC. WAEC na ye tro ha na ye nkwan de.
You West Africa.
And yeah, West Africa de. Nti ya na ye tena asati a question ya mark ya de doesn't go to any. So it made it quite easy to, have any sort of influence via person results no so. And this change of government, but this year so still but I think that the supervision this time round a change and the report from the grounds said there was a deliberate attempt at supervising it properly, and into over 600 mobile phones from Mentibida. So we go examination now when you go the mobile phone. Recently, na me control exams over been na me watch you. Enti me yes me wura na me hu say your friend says watch bomb me. Mirika bia me 2 year me come buy 2 baby no. Because what you wanna say obi na you may not be using it, but explanation be na be ma. For obi JSS ni obenya akokoduru akwa wura examination hall the phone wa share the bottom e su charge bit na say for no. Clearly say the whole concept of education grounded on a certain outcome. Pass, get your A, B and go. That is why I'm so much worried about educational design. It's very pathetic, yeah. My culture said the whole essence of education isn't about whether you get A or B.
Yeah.
Because whatever grade that I will be, you will face the circumstances of life, whether A or B.
Yeah.
So the essence of education should be designed in such a way that ever impact it positively on and develop you as a human being. So wherever circumstances that you find yourself, you will be able to navigate the storms of life, because education is supposed to give you knowledge, not resource. That is why at last time I catch it over the years, you modify your education into paper chasing enterprise. And anadwo amanfo eko school, we amanfo eko school, ahomache weekends, all in the name of chasing a particular paper called certificate. And there are many free in some now team and we are but I dream be any team no than that is a problem. But education is supposed to impact. Yeah, but now how would you kasa, would you analysis, would you someone church this guy is educated. You don't need a piece of paper. Say you are and crano move free secondary school banum. Apart from results, at the end of the Bible, nothing. Morally, they are corrupt. Socially, they are not enlightened. Whichever aspect, they went through an institution. The institution didn't go through them. Education is supposed to modify you, transform you into a certain person. Say, people should see certain difference in you.
Yeah.
What I say, and this exams amount for failure minimum bia or first one of failure, second of failure, and then why are the masters?
Oh, yes.
What I say, so the system should focus on Nippon because I don't know Obiana Nadia, Obiha Charadia, Obetiwa, or Pekidina, they need series of way. What I say, and the
means you have your crana mantra and
yes. But the educational system no factor way Gumia Moncocho Naman pass. That is a mistake. The last time I catch you will say, Yakase and Crani and Sion morning as for and no man crying away. You see, so Okfa Eric Erickson is social in the theory of human development now. Adolescent age near 12 to your friends say 18. Identity versus confusion. And this Ankrano at the secondary school, no, they are battling with who they really are. That is why the last time I said, who do secondary school? When a man for fun, kwasi a din to a home, or bit me for dimbi to spoto my church, and you know, because the psychology behind it, and say at that time you are struggling for identity.
Yeah, who
nimo so who do who identity when you are free now do who way. So you are in a state of experimentation. What was be a university no a guy named Aton and masters no but at that stage you know a experimental stage. So who design the educational system, you need to have all these things in mind and design so that you can ground a child into a particular identity. This is a particular role that you need to. So if you forget this and focus solely on results, A, B, C. I know the day, no, or mind about and those who go to school and get A, go to University of Ghana, get first class in Asafono. Who give them a chance? But America, the Ivy League schools, you know, big corporations in America, they go in their final year and they shop for students because they are coming with creative energy, intelligence.
They even give them their problems to solve with their project.
Exactly.
2 years and now
yes, but I have to prioritizing. That kind of way. We don't prioritize at the ever. Now, Kura may say. A slave queen so one fast watch will be a first class. BM. Obi about make up a burn and Niminam Kumo, and say, oh, just come from Mema. This one fast watch will be a first class. We don't prioritize these things. You understand? So I think in as much as we are focusing on the results, we need to look at the entire educational system again. Now, we tool, we design because criminals are more banning, you know, don't know if school never.
Yeah.
What people. There is this book, Correctional Theory. Go and read it. America, why people become criminal. The last time I catch it out, Akrano, Tiano, Bono, they feel ashamed. And Oko Secondary School, there is something about why people do drugs. Akrako Secondary School, when you lack self-confidence, Nena Sefonoma, the other way now, they are unable to approach them. Because within you know you can't when titan time and say you can't say me or one kasa bu no for
low self-esteem.
And the only way obetimi akọ and say open so akọ sanom just to bridge that esteem level no to get to that person level. And we say na man dey do koko wie enya drug abuse.
Drug abuse.
So that is why a transfer a man for to become criminals. And when you maltreat people in their youthful age, they become aggressive, very belligerent. And he said, Obiti is a Canada, Japan, yeah, go back to his childhood and look at his history. Or no, I can want some that. So you morph to become aggressive because you think.
When you run it, say, Wahan coffin that detaining no. And you answer, now you come 11. Yet say, well, you know, yeah, in some job for name, Martin Kpebu Vs Kissi say. Or can say panel now was set no subordinate to Kissi Adjabeng. It was to say open independent body. Channel this soldier need be called control. Soldier need be did that term no so retaliate ye and no more detaining no. I don't know. OSP detaining somebody no on what grounds so bet me detaining will be because he himself will arrest powers do.
Pacho meje etu me say OSP and as Office of the Special Prosecutor, our powers of arrest. Now our powers of arrest. Next say, sentinel, a bind upon it, police for 2 million at the amount. Into our power of arrest. Now our power of arrest, our power to detain. And now our power to detain, then you will have power to investigate based on the arrest. The NFA power to prosecute. Na nini no to do with corruption and corruption related issues.
Okay.
It is OSP ni to me no. Investigation if you shemu a friend so otumidi obi adiko court ekobon court prosecution.
Yeah.
A friend ya to so miensa asset recovery just say a japadie bi wa otumi age adema aban na to and prevention yeah be say normally enkoso dan semi ya make must be directly or indirectly related to corruption. And it's a obstruction
Hello.
Was struck to be to say, a binding pa Nejuma. No one penny man yet Nejuma. To say, Bia, Memphis said, police need the chromophobia. No babesha with them. Then said, this will be Nama police for the woman a while lock a punono. Stand your police for no entity, entry Nipanoa.
Yeah.
And no near obstruction.
Okay.
And to say, and Rano. Yeah, patron say, so Janino. Nansa na public super will be a surgeon in natural social uniform.
Yeah.
The surgeon in Yanejuma. And a lawyer ni, I won't could take you, could take Jai. Now shall be to say Martin Kpebu Sabe, within the dear on Tessa Matata Zuma Nelson and a DK poison. And many obstruction a bayana. Martin Kpebu, our number of Casa Waka Quatiashi. Will be a nimini beer in himself. When you'll be a physically, no because or still be a modern a word. Now, no, Jane, I one go school or say, or could she have box na karat and would that. One would not what to be castle. A brand here way of Strato. While Strato will be asked to say, be your ordinary officer now, Yaa Titi. Says so genia was shot a ray a sheche.
Yeah.
Now, so genia so a namoa. Yenimi sɛ noma bebree ahyehyɛ wɔn ho a yɛntumi mmɔdin wɔ abɔnten nti na akɔyɛ biribi te sɛ wode hwɛ mu a nsɛm a Martin Kpebu nso ɛma ne kɔpie hɔ no sɛ yɛade a Martin Kpebu na yɛde asɛm ato no so ɛna yɛato nsa afrɛ ne sɛ wɔmmrɛ a ɛna bi oduru hɔ na ɔne wɔn mu ko ntɔkwa a ɛna deɛ wode ne kɔhyɛ kantabag ɛyɛ obstruction na in the case sɛ papa mu ɛyɛ witness for the Republic. One no all boam no what you may aye mojuma.
Yeah.
Not a one watching the say obstructing obi all because of exchange of words. Because one can say obono and one can say no so a bono. And no dear, I mean me hobby dear. Now me did say they've gone too far. It is a wako Bama company, so wako obstructing will be so Jenny or Bama company at all. And what civilian be at your back more. Engineers see what no Martin Kpebu you'll be a debut campaign say Adjabeng yeah special prosecutor in Yenejuma Yen. But what is your man say more of them? And the Mema dream when he said Ne Papa Muno.
Yeah.
Nanka office of the special prosecutor. A friend say, you know, Martin Kpebu obstruction no and yet directly to do with Bonnie or no aye.
Yeah.
No beside the issue. So Janina enya your friend say you can say one tower dear no. Now Obama ya with a transparency yen a jumano. I know they about ring police for. May have the foul yet Martin Kpebu na ya Sojanino. And you won't be a new no. And to bring police near Baba Fowl Mumia. I never see a police station beyond and yet office of the special prosecutor. Let's see, I'm a Sojanini Gina Homa, office of the special prosecutor. Now your friend is a Martin Kpebu Sunday, Tapapano Anka. It is a Mia Mijinahi. Ya Debia Mekasama, Manutia, Nibrain, ya was a Meya Bonnet. Mentias, yes, sir. Okay, my member example say Martin Kpebu you to mention.
Yeah.
Now Ghana police to be called Nigeria or my more than 100 million a year one of the most the roughest countries in the world and can't near to be called rescue Ghana for 1 man you know ya kidnap baby Nigerian police couldn't to me in your worship. At the end say Obiti so for Riata our America America baby I wouldn't be a CCTV camera air show. One no yet to me fanima. I Ghana buy so name America buy you a very sound relationship. And no the PR special prosecutor a press conference papa to me mouth down so the hospital now our life support to Canada than go muye. Now what to me fanima no be a wababa boa abai. Na ye wunu when na ye corrupt when they say what was this right panel aka said ya anya civilian kura but surgery enti ya cheno me pacha me gidi say Martin Kpebu aba abonti he knows what to do and you say your special prosecutor ye ku babia the powers no start any babia epim anya sa next time no ye It's a Kpebu NDC ni no MPP.
Yeah.
And na me NDC ni na me MPP. Enti ye na ye bua Ghana fo no ma asembia no omo with the two sides of the coin. Anya sa NDC ni kasa woni baby ode bekwa wie. MPP ni kasa woni baby ode bekwa wie. Na ye ye kan ni anu nyina. Annual session be frame. And they be something about Jean Mensa.
Yeah.
Not something no about. Make a decision to say, I am from what say, Mahama, so share a year, President Yabase Kwa, and Kpebu Justice Kingsley, you know, any your friend, the Safari Jan, Mona say, one when you had one who is this one, oh, you're penny for, and Tisa or Yen, the Juman Kaya. I know no Coco Charlotte as a young lady at the back, problems are a bye. From Swakofa, young lady, because young lady are yet 28 years old, make her relatively between one more or any new ones, and the problems are by and going forward. Yeah, you will be a young be over 60 years or 62, not just about 2 times, and now 1 time or about 64, 65, or 1 time, or Conasa for them, what Mananum, our bad day. Na education no kwa wo de hwe de obekwa kofa akola kitu bi atena safo no so oba obeye party adwuma anientra bitumi bo mahamachi na me bo akufu adu achi no and I don't belong to those two parties no nti me kasa etogana fo aso sa na Martin Kpebu tie na yantumi amma obi ti se Martin Kpebu ho ban a and that say wontumi mo anache ho ban na wo ye ni say na say next time no nkasa bi mo na aha Ghana for because nye Ghana ni bia na MPP asemetie and nye Ghana ni bia na NDC asemetie and so obi so MPP no or sa per the other side etie nti obi ti say Martin Kpebu no sabi o man bi so a nkwa celebrity e bo no ho ban na wotumi tietia the fact who dey say obstruction one year obstruction of Yaa Titi and na typist bia office ho baby ne yakwa kosum na whole soldier soldier ni o say uniform and now police ni a o say uniform and na wo civilian what me outfit akwaye kokua bi mu kura because e betuma ba so soldier ni kura civilian bi wo de chen and no dey kokua and yetumi yes na public place to say office ho a wo say soldier atare Martin Kpebu betuma so tere mpacho kono emwa ye nyina emwa obi a
lawyer, me de bo baako ebe kum no mamie no. OSP office na nkasa no. Yenim petitions aba what say president refer the ama chief justice say on share ni electoral commission nyina. Ye sure said ye mra no make provisions for say obi ye adwuma na ontimi nye ni yi a ye betimi afa sa mra kwan na so ni yi nipa no. Electoral Commission ni OSP dia na aba no nkorfo align to Chief Justice dia ne say President ye Chief Justice dia na say automatically no Electoral Commission any OSP so ebeko sa adwene no politics na ama kata emra na da ho ne so ana na asoman dia ne be ya fa ho.
That's it. The last part of your question, then I make paper say as on mine, dear na yebeye afahu. Near Dikano, me started from a chiroho, office of the special prosecutor. So, we share omo office na a corruption related, and omo investigating. Mr. Wa, office of the special prosecutor, young creative, nay, and say you were dimwa kotene police. Overwhelmingly, BBFA Bonia affected on mine be omuna yasa ejuman. And sana Yoko, any your friends, the Commission of Human Rights and they are so anyone who are bedding. Naga the DPA, organization, this will find a special branch. It's some time. In there, actually, a Baba friend BN, Bureau of National Investigation, and Anaya National Investigation Bureau, so then Nina Yadiabak. One we high level investigation and it's a BNI Nabeya NID no because one was an near the investigation adding to any work. And in the sending of fear, as I say to you know, I dear fact crabano and nam Burkina Faso, Crano, Jinampuano, James Sawa, or take no pampan. The office of the special prosecutor there. Now, no me who say, Omo PR. Actually, one where Juma Nimu said, Quay any attorney general, dear, not sure muma Ghana for NTS your person just said there is a difference between the two. Okaobua. In this country, under our law, all investigations, all prosecutions are done for and on behalf of the Attorney General.
Yeah.
It's in the woman you know you be a buying special advisor. Oh yeah, Attorney General. And now, PR the person Chiremu say, and now say Attorney General near buying the minister. And you know, no maybe one hour the fact. Attorney General Honwa, yet is a minister di aye bonny. Now the call Attorney General, no see a minister. And you know, a behadgen, and you know, open power French transparent. Yet the call office of the special prosecutor. The patron no so casa or bois. Actually, say special prosecutor, but your Roman for the you know, and then your national chief imam, you know, and your president in the you know. Just as the president here, Attorney General, no, now in practice, no, I say, I buy so good office of the special prosecutor because a waste of everybody's resources. And they say, a organization, our politicians, ministers, are there, I buy one more, buying a power water. What would the money and he said that the alcohol? Study a bay and fear do near a Jumano.
Yeah.
Now, when the Namwa, because when you now with the comma, your friend say, NIB, make a National Investigation Bureau, and now say what they call comma, Yoko, and now with the map police here. I'm sure now, Nipani did not to be a good anymore. And no, and I'm so a Kufuado, added to me in the map, Josh Amidu. Martinami do no one say papa na ye ready so be ye nadwuma o make sure say ya man ni obetumi dey aye adwuma na papa na dey frustration ekoye ade ade Kissi Adjabeng bo no dey o ye adwuma na fine adwuma na o ye no fine e bi ni say ya dapa man for say bola su minister kura na ye betu sika e wo won pass ni ka fine ko si say e bi so ni say ofori atadie ani bibia. Your friend say Office of the Special Prosecutor could be a government ministers. And to the extent to say Office of the Special Prosecutor neighborhood, a bubble NPP for ministers of Woban, Abo NDC ministers of Woban, the BCP for Baba Woban, and to next say, what form them to men through be a boo and go and so because as somebody could do police station and I say National Investigation Bureau, it will be handled differently and expertly. Engineer Kissi Adjabeng nyaboni bia no ye de bo aban no anim say de bo won panifo ho bai na aban no asem ongu sa office no because aims na ye de amount objectives no to do with investigations and then prosecutions concerning corruption no me pacho nya na be ye bibie nim dada say ye police fu adwuma and ye nim dada so say a friend say baakui serious fraud officer no ne friend Yoko ko Britain fraud office and no na Ghana ye friend Yoko economic and organized crime office and you the same as investigating corruption. And it's also for BB friend Office of the Special Prosecutor. And the empire how different is it from what we know already? BNI and Ghana for BNI, a champion time here friend special branch, any Yoko, any Ghana police. How different to Ghana for my country? And myself say, on my way back to me, I said Nanny Chinaya, you to me the petition called Parliament, now President Mahama. Ojunu hu mienu no twam ne njira so twam na ne say kama na na Kufuado edisa office ede ba no edisifu a parliament they opposed it some fast one pn no so oh eba boa yenti sa de okwakofa nipa kura wonye MPP ni no waba be ye head ani edi ma Martinamidu odi ba no mo share that staff papa ya computer kura yamfa bi ansi nanim ntina say odi and to a Korean natural say one at all. And in that, NDC for opposite, which is on record. NDC for say that office in area or yours, for because of your redundant and superfluous. But say you take up you may be on better my institutions were a year dada. And the one went here, womu ye nti say na womu aba I thought to say enka ebeye to say yi levy enka dana womu ba na enka say womu twem enye late ye ntwem afemi famra ye maame Jean Mensa eso ye maame Jean Mensa no ne de no ene say wo bisa question say de no man ni betimi aye hwe ta kotoko any house bobo ewo Kumasi na uka kire kotokofo say your friend the house for say mu finkra mo ba ya mo mfa referee emra no medi match no emaye anya na tese house for win match na wi otherwise no so ye first dan ni etumi sha kotoko 3 nail mpa kotoko ni bia beka say sorry ye sha house 3 nail kura ye beka so sanye referee no a wo mu ade ne banka be ye be 6 nail ni atene say eye dan na president and any party election no they will be part of the contestants na the same president and on nominate obi say yemfa ne electoral commission we say me pacho in Ghana no nomination also means appointment because me who will be a president and nominating no wo man we say mu omu aka no anfo no so apart from Professor Kofi Awudo ono de anu ye ne de ne yefo aso enye yo kotro book bi e di president agbefo anko an no condemn asantefo ne akanfo anyina e fa ne the Ghana Revolution. It is a very condemnable book and yes say ni somra meye Minister for Foreign Affairs for Ghana tiabra ye kenkan book numu katafa bi no na cheso onyo bi obetumi agina ho ama Ghana man wabra wadwene ya won say akanfo nyina enye di papa enti ahode MPP ni NDC fo ni nyina re condemn papa no ma ye Professor Kofi Awuno edifiwo apart from Kofi Awuno one pa na ye de na kwagina parliament na say ye can say council of state na say hifa president na nominate no ayamfo aso enti ni me pa kire ne say the same suggestion. So the Constitutional Review Committee, no, omunya adie bi eba buama the position of the Electoral Commissioner, and to that extent, the position of the Chief Justice, and yet to say President Ibemua Enyeye. And I may hear suggestion say because it's a Electoral Commission, ne conditions of service, that is a Court of Appeal judging, and I yet Rollins in a baya or the obiti safari. Previously, no would tell ye Electoral Commissioner no at the Free Court of Appeal direct.
Okay.
The 79 Third Republic there no. Na papa ne fa Mr. Justice Kingsley Nina or your Court of Appeal judge. Papa Penimo in his 60s. And no kayenyi Court of Appeal yanya is a Court of Appeal judge bia na ni je ho so person ye Electoral Commissioner for Ghana. Onfa ni di enko. Enti sabeye enum and almost pet star position now. Yanya say the Superior Court of Judicature, High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, any Ghana Bar Association registered members in young constitute into an electoral college. No halfway, no muni, a mubaku on any electoral commission, and yamfanema or minor. Let's just say where the electoral commissioner will come from, no president and the party, no, we know who be yet. We be say transfer. Now, Charlotte say, Anna, Mahaman and the Charlotte say, and by. And this is MP, even though or conduct election, ma, MPP noir, sorry, NDC no, I don't buy no LUC, but the next government in buy no Betamon. And a G-Man Sanson and a Kufadana, I don't know, a buy. Or conduct election, MPP no, I don't buy no LUC, still no, or your enemy to NDC. Which is rightly so, because of Nipa or Deno Eba, Okra, Nebata Winche, or Bako Shia, where we are seeing Nara, the BBI of Feda. And Tina may patch say, Yankofa Kala Metnauche, no Mamma Ninya Wokra, Neba. And no matter how good your performance might be, you're making sure that choir your fast you and your political party president been a do by. Then the last one I said yesterday, I'm repeating here, and they said, which acquire your fast way, you did Charlotte say no. Mini Mahamet, Namum, Yabia Samango, a Brenna Mijina Forma, Yawana, Ubakacham, some men from Kosruan, Sanamusa Mango, Abre. Urano, or yet relatively a young person. President, why would he consider the age? And it's over pension at the age of 70. Into that time, near the Jumadiano, Esha with Seminole. So, what the 50 years in part? It means to say, by the time of 20 years in Beban, that is what conducting election, baby, by 5 o'clock. Into a no about Boa, President, you won in the party, Ombaqua Barbeto, and I will know better on 2 or what they are. We almost party member, Omodano, Ada. You different, people should be the same mistake. Ecofa, a relatively younger person. So no so much now on purpose. The moment you do that, the party for be about better so better. Nasabia Yakwa yi Court of Appeal Judge B, Madame for be the Justice Wilson, J. Wilson, are already on your base 65 years, 66 years. What the better now? Upon that election back upon the baby. Number 2, when you dip up penny. Young education and change, school, final change. Now let's also emphasize age and experience.
Yeah.
Nipa when you need penny move our woman and none of the classmates when you penny for into your casachanwa or tie and almost and then the back casano see and penny for. As against Obia, let's say 45 to early 50s. So in case I will company for I want to mean fano and come. And I'm here possession. You know, I don't know to vice president, you know. Sir, you see, I eliminate. Sabi men, you know, who about what chin and imam who. Jim Messabec chin and say, yeah, because when you are into a person who now shall be a woman. I suppose you are vice president. He said, no, a family. It's in a summer no proper life. The actual of this regime, not 2 hours, no chin and it's a penny matured person. Now, educational engineer, Sabi. Obia qualify, Obia never call Obiano or qualified for education factory chain. Nato de Bia, ya me ya, Obia ya matured, and then Rami concluded so runners. Now, what early 30s, 1917, or better cheer, soldier from penny for Kunkum woman. Come on, no way. So the same opportunity buyer in Kasafon and Konya Washi, added a experience. When ya our abrabom into minimisa before so but we know I regret it completely but I am here and ye into your wadia branch here to me and your wadia penny to me and you know so be samia your mind yes say immediately the power of the president so to be appointed chief justice so to be appointed electoral commission yansa there were institutions in the Waha to me apprentice of one after our University Teachers Association of Ghana. I've been from quite a go. And two person we are chief justice, and our person we are easier. What do application? They are constituted into a panel near screen work. Almost screen work we are young for one court. Now judge of what Ghana and constitute into electoral college. They am to a benny mubaku. Let's just say that position is in Ghana ni PA himself. And Conquest at the top of West one or Baba way Juma. And Conquest a baffle bonny, I didn't buy and confront as I can baffle bonny noir, present and I confirm in the friend I'm rash to say, or Baba Pami Yisi. I didn't see any to me casa. All because President na a ye, your friend is a chief. And Mamma concluded this baffle bonny is a different person. Come or be any so ya Santini. Now, pinch case no become MPP in Pacho or the Mrana dear Juma.
Yeah.
One fat ne tribe in a dear Juma. I know to court them in our rallies and then a year about your book case and a mamma yet not some work court and a papa who be jawi. Your born the unity of Solidia, no, so answer Regina. And about Bonnie Summer, no, a fast track high court jet. No, baby, and percent. I know Bissan or pretending so names of Rollins here. Head of state president, whatever way. Ozankamasa, now what was the no so or man a moral support. Pachogan and EBN so disciplined that day were caught. And Tibafu in your beer, Sir President Mahamadi Ejuma edition and Sir, or President Mahamad Juma, or Sanya Mbrano SCS.
Medase pa na lawyer wait there in 1 minute. Commenting my comment section ho aye deja wo Facebook. Kwafasi say Ghana Bar Association na mu kra no aye politicize. Na ajajefo ni bi kra no kwan ya tokodo no otimi fa so manipulate wo mu bi no. Ase ho so kra ye trust no ebe free ho kra. Tisi ya send the electoral commission akwa kwahye wo monsa dia. Back to square one now.
And I'm so many patches and say, the Ghana for who said Ghana Bar, a politicizer, next just a Ghana for your politically alert. And your commenters are, I like it. In the other engine, I am my drink, and tis a mature normal bear me a lumiansa. Na back when ya, me a lunadia, a judiciary.
Yeah. Hey, you hold on a minute for. Anyway. All right. A comment section why you the no consider please not the Ghana Bar Association no. Well, the Ghana Bar Association money ya na me say Ghana for any money. All say talk no case ne buy no. Yeah. Eko gina omusu emra no article 146 na no president di ye adwuma no afa omumu ni paketu o be se 4050 bi kwhia wa soro ho one by no opposition asesa wow trust issues and in ya lusu lawyer not friend but I think say he has done justice to the issue and then I think say we will move on network you know home. All right. Quick one. Enra NPP a review one question and there's so many issues omo kan ho asema yebedi ho nkomo ewo ha. Ade ba ko a Justin Kodua Frempor kan ho asema ye mede a ma hu so omo identify ye say omo agya to me say apathy ewo party ni. This is the same apathy me Yaa Titi me kan wo TV so several times say vote a apathy see what party ni rather no omo crofo no social media for no omo tetewa we talk to see the data no didi atem no edidi matem pasa say na everybody yankopo me catch them people for say proud to the election apathy na see what party no nya apathy ketwa I said it. And no, I was happy say Justin Kodua Frempor confirm me yes say Professor can I say former speaker Michael Kyei committee I confirm me I recommend this say ati no apathy asi wo mu no tie say they almost so be recognize even former executives so that they will participate in elections and I'm like wow nyame ne moboafo e wo Yesu di mu ne ye ka asem kire mo na se musi muntie na mo bedidi yatem a ma wie ya ne se mu gina hoi nyame ka mo be se didi matem o e na be ma tire opposition ya che no ye ka asem a muntie maso ode ye tumofo a muntie mo be sa bedidi yatem na mo tire opposition che me dey amede because akonfo party ni mu dodo.
But Osha, yeah,
me akronfo party ni wo. Ebinom ya akronfo.
I like the way.
Ebinom ya akronfo dodo. Adai. Sanfo no binom aso de didi ba omia su ana mo de ne ba. Sankrofo ya so ba omia wi no no mesa ba ministers. Debi. We try one check akra. As is the next 32 years. God of mercy. Catch it.
Namini Boafo.
Aye. So I said, Yamenkwa na me advocating for OSP office to be scrapped. And a useless institution. For so be any. Minister.
A year enanka OIT senka office of the special prosecutor. Etimia ye bibi kra magana fu ehunu se. Wa ye bibia. But wait dear, obi besi krana there was nothing. And when you meet people, and Ghana for Ghanaians are discerning now.
Oh yes, I say Adwene mu da ho.
Ghana for Adwene mu da ho. Nti Ghana for hwe. Madam bi owokojokrom. Takura do say eyes are watching.
Yeah.
Ne ekwaso be nyina no. Kissi Adjabeng nothing. Massive be say nothing could be. They say bibie mfiri mu mba. Bibie ni bo ho bibie ni ho. Na o ti wonum na ye twa budget sika na ye de aba na hwe na sika mfanya hwe ade ana honum no kasa kese ani sika no de yeden
enya se kasa kese omutwi
kasa kese sika no de yeden
nyasam kese
sas adwuma no sa na te dia sa de ka ya betumi amje nka metumi akoye bi
yenkoye bi
ande no ane se me wi ana ma friends ntwelo fram ne o ma hia na ma medwa menu ma kire o mo sa no mo e de ko
enti ya be phone lines no na enra so mo be phone lines no ma me enra Justin Kodua Frimpong make a statement bi a I think so address it to your media or catch the media for ne say some churofo e wo Ghana yanti ase power air transit na se bibi ukoso NDC abamu ne yese yenka or catch the say power air transit. I love that word, you know. Justin Kodua Frimpong, you know the reason why I'm a person asem na okay, you know. It was the same thing that we were doing when you were in power. What did you do? Time anamu wa be mu ani e kase corruption koso emra nya adwuma e say judiciary no nkrofo lose trust e wo ho ye ka sa se wo ye kan yo mu didi yatem
Justice Kodua on be kire ne a e koso a ye mbeg ye kan
wo mo nkrofo ko social media atem die fitai onu ara o wo me physical quality mi nkasa me ho nipa Chabija no didi matter because ye cannot catch them. And now who catch a yes and chop for say ya kasa power is transit. Na sa no mo ba mo na mo nim sa power is transit wo. Afei na ma wo sa power is transit. Power there ye me say nim sa power is transit. I know. And that's the reason why ya krono ana akokoso wo ma ba mu ne ye ka na mumua awomaso nipa obi ho minister bi ho kasa da num kasa tantan wa kasa basa no wadidi Ghana fo na atem no na ye be ka da na mo ye Dr. Bawumia kasa sa the 2x4 apology no won so ka wo mu say arrogance of power and because of can attack do say that na mo ye unity there you say unity tall say then no and okoka wo arrogance of power. It is still even in your DNA. Ewo mu DNA ewo mo jeans ni wo mu hormones mu. Arrogance of power. Mo amon no kwa mo kasa nkyere wo mo because wo no mu kasa no e wo so mo so ti ase power is transit enya se Bawumia nkwa na mo de ne beba continuously it is na Bawumia na mo de ne bent na madwen ya mo say omo twa Bawumia hia yina endidi Canada Japan ne ye ka no se bre champion no omo amaka no mu didi o matem na power ne sesa na ekodi ba bia sa afo no wo me na bodi sankrofo na chi. Power is transit, no. It's even within your own party. Preach it to your own, so that they will stop insulting Canada. You can't say education minister, former education minister, say, you can't. Akwe busum champion. Educhum. Tell your party members to stop insulting Educhum. No one more count. Oh, but catch a yes, I'm sure for say power is transit, and I young kasa. Power is transit. Power is transit.
Yeah, only. Justice Kodua Frimpong, lawyer Becca say, na come him say, or Becca say, oh, when you na air coso.
Ewa Benny
na monka. But so bibi on fan bravo.
So no ye mpamuna no anamwa.
Mpamuna no. But o bibi o free say.
Bibi ansam cho for yesu na mu ye.
Bibi no ho no mu abanyi ye ya.
For so mu ye.
Ya utie me. Dollar ya sisi ai CD ahoden ekoso say ye ka.
Da bi na say nti dollar na so ate no. Ye ka no nti ye ka na say.
Eyi edisan akwan a wonom eye. Ye hu ayenka.
Ye ka. E no say na President Mahama wo poku ase interchange.
Enuane a
only president ya share to contractor so say adwuma.
Ye adwuma.
Mo declare year of rose 2 years e Kroma road be na
3 times no mo call parliament e ko kan
ye kai say power is transit.
Yeah,